Hey, this is Dwayne Bennett with 365 Live. Dwayne Bennett with 365 Live. The worry to winning solution. Y'all, this is a rough one. Just leaving a funeral of a friend of mine, high school friend, college friend, fraternity brother. And it can't be long what I'm going to say because I'm too emotional to be able to make it through. But we're ready to go into 2020. And the bottom line is this. If you got something to do, you got to be about your business. It's too, how I want to say it. I don't want to say life is too short because that's too much of a cliche, even though it's true. But it's about, if you're not intentional about your time and how do you use your time and how you spend your time, then it can get away from you real fast. Because from high school to college to graduation to now, and some of the friends I haven't seen since that time, you see them now. It's like, where did the time go? But more so, not where did the time go, but for me, more so, what did I do with my time and what did people do with their time? So when you say time flies, that's true. Clock ticking, that's true. But really, the question is, how are you using the time that you have? Because with every death comes the realization is that, your life is limited, at least on this earth. I believe we're a three-part being. We're spiritual, we're physical, we have a body, and we're gifted with a mind. And the key is this: my spirit is going to go on forever, go to heaven with God. It's not even a question. My body is going to die. It's going to die. And then we got this mind to determine what we're going to do with the time that we're given. So we're going to go into 2020. It's a wake-up call for me. Not a wake-up call, but just a boost. Another boost or reminder is I got to be about my business. I got to be more intentional about how I use my time. I got to be more intentional about, relationships. That's another thing, too. You probably heard this. Everybody always say, hey, we got to stop getting together at funerals and weddings, right? If you heard that before, you might want to comment. And it's true. But even beyond that, again, it just reminded me is, we just got a limited amount of time. And since we got a limited amount of time, I think the tragedy with most people's lives is that you just weren't intentional about the use of your time and use your time to do the right things. There's no regrets about the time as it passed, but did you use that time in a way that aligned with who you are and why you were put here? That reminds me of one of the paperweights I have on my desk. I spoke about this before. It says, we are not here to see through each other, but we're here to see each other through. And add that on to our time, then how are we seeing each other through with the time that we have? Okay, that's a question that we have to answer. So I'm probably like everyone else. You go to the funeral, you hear the service, you see the people, and then you think about your life, and you think about how you're using your life, or what you could have done, or what you should have done, or what you can do, or what you should do. And it just, for me, it's just I think my lesson is to be more cognizant and more intentional of the time that I have, and make sure that I'm spending time on the right persons, I'm spending time at the right places, and I'm spending my time on the right things. Because again, a cliche, time is our most precious commodity. You never can get it back, blase, the whole nine. But my key is what are we going to do with the time that we're given? Not the time that's gone by, not the time that passed, not the regrets, not looking back, but what are we going to do with the time that we're given? And my challenge to you, my challenge to myself, is to be more intentional about aligning myself with the people, the places, and the things that I'm supposed to be aligned with, and using my time in a way that's going to be not seeing through each other, but seeing each other through. I think that's where it is. I think that's the lesson. I think that's what I'm supposed to say. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I think that's what I'm supposed to feel is what I'm going to do with the time, not the time that I have left, but with the time that I have to live. Oh, that's good. What I'm going to do with the time I have to live, and we got to be more intentional about that. This is a great time for this lesson. This is a great time for this principle. It's a great time for it to flow through me, for me to use it and pass it on, because we're going into 2020. And if you look back over 2019 and you have any regrets that you didn't do the things in 2019 you should have done, then this is the time to be intentional about planning out your 2020 so that you can be very, very intentional about 2020 and getting closer to accomplishing your dreams, your goals, and aspirations. But not only getting close to accomplishing those things, but also actually accomplishing them. It's got to be some things you got to start knocking off your list. It just can't be goals that you never hit them. Just can't be dreams that you never live. Can't never be aspirations that you live up to. We got to start hitting them. We got to start knocking them down. We got to start getting them out the way, because if we never get there to that dream, to that goal, to that aspiration, then we never can get to the next one. It's level to these things, as my bishop would say. It's level to this thing called life. And until we get to these initial levels, then we're not going to be able to get to the next level, and to the next level, and to the next level. And this is one thing I know for sure, even I learned from these lives, doing 365 lives, is people are waiting for us. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for you, Reggie. They're waiting for you, Angela. They're waiting for you, Tony. They're waiting for you, Ty. They're waiting for you to show up in the way that you're supposed to show up in the world. And when you don't show up, they miss you. And they may have missed their time. And they may have missed their opportunity to make their dream come true, or to aspire to be bigger than they are, or to meet that goal that you can show them how to get there. So I'm deep, and I'm all the way in, y'all, and that's because these situations, these benchmarks in life, these times in life, they bring you in. But when they bring you in, right, and you experience them, then you got to come out bigger, you got to come out better, and you got to come out stronger. And I feel myself now, as I talk through this with you and share it with you, I can feel myself getting better, getting bigger, getting stronger, and fired up and ready to go, because I know that 2020, just like 2019, has to be better than 2018 was. So 2019 was better than 2018 for me, and it should be for you too. But 2020 has to be better than 2019, but not additive. Not 1 + 1 = 2, or 2 + 2 = 4. It's got to be 2 to the second power. It's got to be 6 to the 9th power. It's got to be 12 to the 15th power. It's got to be exponential. It's got to be quantitatively. It's got to be over the top. We just can't do this thing just like we did it. We got to be intentional. We got to go for it. We got to understand our time is now. It's no more time, right? It's no more extensions. Our time is now. This is Dwayne Bennett with 365 Live, the Worry to Winning Solution. And my question I leave with you to get from the worry side to the winning side is, in 2020, what are you going to do with your time to move from the winning side, from the worry side to the winning side? It's Dwayne Bennett, 365 Live.